Hey everybody, my name is Connor. I'm an English teacher and a state exam corrector. In this video, we'll be looking at a sample persuasive essay which was written in response to a composition question that came up in the 2015 English paper. Before watching this video, it's a good idea to read the sample persuasive essay first. By doing this, you'll get a flavour of the student's writing and you'll also become that bit more familiar with some of the points being made in the essay itself. Having watched the video then, it's a good idea to take a look at the annotated PDF version of the sample answer. This will give you even more information and tips on the essay which won't have been discussed in this video. Before we get into the essay itself, let's take a quick look at the question. The question reads, write a discursive essay in which you discuss the importance of privacy in people's lives and the challenges to privacy in the modern age. So the first thing to consider here is the fact that the question requires you to write a discursive essay. A discursive essay gives you the chance to discuss a certain topic's pros and cons. The next thing then to consider in light of this question is the fact that you'll need to decide on the appropriate language genre. For a discursive essay, you will be expected to primarily employ the language of persuasion. So now that we've looked at the question, we're going to jump into the marking scheme. The marking scheme states that students can approach this question in a number of ways. So students can take a personal approach, they can take an anecdotal approach, or even take a humorous approach. But the marking scheme does outline that you will need to discuss both aspects of the question within the essay itself. So now that we've taken a look at the question, we're familiar with the marking scheme, we'll jump straight into the sample answer's first main body paragraph. What I really liked about this student's first main body paragraph is the fact that the student immediately outlines their opinion on the topic at hand. They effectively mention the phenomenal advances in social media, but are very quick then to mention the negative impacts that these websites and apps can have on the lives of its users. Make sure you outline your take on the topic nice and early in your persuasive or discursive essay. It can be frustrating for a corrector if they have to comb through your essay trying to figure out which side of the fence you're standing at in the context of the topic being discussed. By mentioning both sides of the argument in the early stages of a discursive or persuasive essay, the student for me shows an awareness and consideration of the topic at hand. This proves to strengthen the overall persuasiveness of their essay as well. The student states that many would argue that what people choose to share online is a personal choice, but then they're very quick to outline how they disagree with this idea. Again, understanding the perspective of those who are on the other side of the argument strengthens this student's essay and shows the corrector that the argument that they'll be putting forward has been well thought out and well planned. I really liked the point of discussion this student presents at the end of the paragraph in relation to how social media impacts on the user's mental health. This kind of topical point, in my opinion, is attention grabbing and also allows the reader to more easily and readily relate to the points being made. So now that we've looked at the first main body paragraph of the sample answer, let's jump into the second main body paragraph. Again, this student shows an awareness of the task at hand through their careful and considered use of the collective pronoun we and the phrase our. Positioning yourself as being on par with your reader when it comes to a discursive essay or persuasive essay is a very effective persuasive or convincing technique. It ensures that you refrain from coming across patronising while also allowing you to authentically empathise and sympathise with your reader in the context of the topic being discussed. I really like then how the student adds a personal touch to their essay. By providing a personal insight into how they themselves feel the pressure of social media's expectations and how they also personally prefer to keep their personal life offline will strike a chord with many of the essay's readers. Personal insights and opinions such as these will encourage your reader to buy into the points that you are making. I also really enjoyed this student's point on how social media and the associated expectations and pressures of sharing your life on these websites and apps can result in the depreciation of some of life's special moments. This point would force, I think, the readership to think of a special time in their lives when they perhaps were too focused on taking a photograph instead of enjoying the particular moment at hand. One piece of advice I would give to this student would be to expand their points beyond the idea of social media. The topic was privacy in the modern age, and I feel that up until this point in their discursive essay, that they haven't really gone beyond the idea of social media. Present a wide range of points to cement that high grade in this section of the paper. So now that we've looked at the first and second main body paragraph, we're going to jump straight into the fourth main body paragraph of this sample answer. Again, this student shows an awareness of the task and an ability to execute some of the basic yet highly effective persuasive writing techniques. Through the use of anecdote, this student, I think, copper fastens their side of the argument in relation to the topic of privacy in the modern age. By providing an emotionally charged anecdote, such as the one outlined here, this student further persuades their readers that the consequences and dangers associated with any social media outlets far outweigh the positives. Using emotive language as well throughout a discursive essay is a very effective way, I think, of persuading your reader to think along the same lines as you in the context of what is being discussed. Striking up an emotion within your reader can be a very difficult thing to do, but its persuasive effect can be a surefire way of winning them over. I really liked how this student showcases their awareness of the task at hand and the language genre that they are being asked to employ. Rhetorical questions are a feature of persuasive and argumentative language and can be, if correctly employed, as seen here, a very effective way of further convincing your reader that the point you are making is accurate. I was also very impressed with some of the words that were carefully chosen by this student throughout their discursive and persuasive essay. Words such as horrendous, shocked and appalled, and horrors are quite impactful and can encourage a sense of shock and distress, I think, for the reader. This can strengthen the overall point that is being made and will lead to a more convincing discursive and persuasive essay. So now that we've looked at a couple of paragraphs from the sample answer, let's quickly reinforce some of the video's take-home points. So this sample answer was very impressive overall. What worked well was the fact that the student addressed the task throughout the essay and that the sample answer was a good example of a discursive essay. I was also very impressed with how this student employed the correct language genre, so they went for the persuasive option. I also liked some of the persuasive techniques that they employed in their answer. They used things like anecdotes, the collective pronoun we, and rhetorical questions, and this showed me that they fully understood what the task wanted them to do. Some advice I would give to this student would be to make sure that your discursive essay follows the correct format. So at times this discursive essay read like a speech, so you should try and veer away from this. It's a discursive essay, not a speech. Hopefully the content of this video has helped you in some way. Make sure to check out the annotated PDF version of the sample answer for even more information that wasn't covered in this video. Thanks for watching and chat again soon.